Hello. Hello, everyone. Let me just flip my thing around here. How's everyone doing today? Jill, you did such a great job. I'm so excited that I get to follow her. Let me just see where I am, just to make sure that everything's going good here. Oh my gosh.
Hello, happy Saturday.
All right. I'm going to calm down a second here. Hopefully things are going. Let me just double check and make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I hope that you're having a good day. There we are. There I am. Yay. Okay. So my name is Justine. I'm Dandrea from Creative Faith Cafe. I'm excited to follow Jill. Jill, you're not alone. I'm down here in Palm Bay in Florida, so we can hook up sometime. But let me show you what we're going to do today. Today we are going to be making a garland. And it's a very simple, fun project. And I'm going to be using several different kits from the Magnolia company. And like I said, I'm just really excited to be here. So let's see. The first thing I'm going to show you is the DIY kit I purchased and I made, which it comes like this. But then the really great thing about Magnolia, about our stencils, is that you can reuse them on different projects. So on my garland, I have made some stuffies, and now I have become a stuffy addict because my friend Heidi has shown me how to make stuffies. So I'll be using that, the DIY kit. And then earlier, Cindy showed us how she used the spring minis to do some of her house, rearranging in her house project. I'm going to use it on the colored eggs, which you get 12 eggs, 3 different colors. So you can make this garland as big or as small as you want. Maybe put it over a window or a door. Okay, so I want to start with my stuffy first. And I have duck cloth. Duck cloth can be purchased at a fabric store. It comes in different colors. When I first did my first one, I used this one, but now I'm going to use my white. You don't need a lot. Maybe start with a 1/4 yard, or depending on, for this project, a 1/4 yard would be good. And then I'm going to take my stencil. So when you get your stencil, you cut it apart. Oh, wrong one. So it comes like this, and you'll just cut it apart. And what you'll do is take it off, put it on your tacky cloth. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the day. I am enjoying watching all the creatives. And I know several of us have said that we're our family. And I get inspired by so many other people. And I love creating. It's like being in your home and creating together. So I know you've seen this often, but I'm going to show you again. So we're just putting our stencil down with our duck cloth, and I purchased this. Let me show you how it looks. So I purchased this at Joann's. You might want to wait for a coupon because it's a little pricey, but it comes in different colors. I decided the multicolor, and I realized that hot coral and magnolia green go very well with this particular pom-pom garland, so I'm going to use those. So I'm going to take my hot coral. I hope that you guys are having a great Saturday, and I hope that you'll take advantage of the 10% off. I think that's a really cool thing. So you've seen us do our squeegee. Just making sure that you're covering all the surface. And like Jill said, you don't have to be really artsy. You can do this very simply by just putting paste on a project. And then you'll just pull it off. And when you're pulling your stencil, you don't want to pull it diagonal. You want to kind of pull it straight. And there we have it. So right away, I'm going to go ahead. I use this tray when I'm doing my live to just spray some water on it so that I can have some time before I have to bring it to the kitchen. So let me do that. All right. So the other thing is like you can also just do all eggs if you wanted to, and that's what I did here. So I did bunnies, and this I use for something else. So you'll want that to dry completely, and I have one here that's dried. I just noticed I did that at the end. When it's dried completely, you want to go ahead and cut it out. So again, this is duck cloth, and I've cut them into pieces. Let's see, where's the other back piece? Uh-oh. Here it is. So I cut it, this is probably like maybe a 1/4 yard because it goes lengthwise. And then you get several markings from this. So you want to just kind of measure out to see, you can put several on at one time if you want. You're also going to need a piece for the backing. So let me go here, and I'm just going to cut it out. I'm not worried, if you're not a fussy cutter, sorry. I know some people don't like to fussy cut. You can leave a little bit of white around it because what we're going to do is glue it to the backing to make a stuffy. We're going to fill it, and we're going to use hot glue, and then we're going to probably cut around it. We will cut around it again. Let me just set that aside because, oh, another wax paper under your material, because if you'll see here, it goes through. So I use wax paper. I should have said that first. So wax paper, then go ahead and chalk your piece. I'm going to go ahead and do one of my eggs here. I am using the Easter blessing, Easter is for Jesus, and Jesus is risen. That's what I've used on my garland. And I'm going to go ahead and center it on the egg. And then I'm going to coordinate as best as I can with the garland and what I'm doing here. So what did I do? So on this one I used purple, but then I realized I don't have it in the garland, so I'm just gonna, you can just use black if you want. Let's see, I'm gonna do a blue, and I am using, how about I do a yellow? We're gonna do yellow. Alright, I need a squeegee. So one of the reasons why I've joined Magnolia is because I like the fact that it's not, there's no set rules or anything like that. I can have the freedom to run my business or my any way that I want, and I like the fact that I just have freedom, and it was reasonable to join. So there we go. I have my Easter on there. And I love the fact that everybody just connects with each other. And I'm looking forward to many years of doing this. I'm fairly new in the company, but I'm really loving it. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside so it'll dry. Again, I'm using the minis for this. And we're going to let that dry. Where's my thing? Where's my thing I was cutting? Oh no. Sorry. There she is. Like, okay, so now we're going to take another piece of cloth. That will be our backing. And we're actually going to hot glue the bunny to the other piece of plain duck cloth. And you want to keep an opening on the bottom. So I'm just going to go underneath here and go along the edge. Be very careful not to burn yourself. So I usually go that way and then I'll come back over the side. And you'll need stuffing. You don't need a lot of stuffing. You don't even really have to stuff it if you don't want to. It's up to you. And then you can also use the stencil to make t-shirts. I've been doing t-shirts lately and it's been a lot of fun doing t-shirts. There's so many different things that you can do. So garland does not have to be just for the holiday of Christmas. We can make it for any holiday, right? All right, remember not to close off the bottom. Be very careful. And then we're going to cut it out. So here we go again, cutting out. Let me look at my time. I want to make sure that I can show you at least the techniques and how to kind of put it together. And you're just going to go around and cut it again. Here we go. So if you're not feeling like, oh, I'm not crafty and I can't do stuff, yes, you can. I want to tell you that first off. And second, this is so easy that you'll be so happy and excited that you did such a fun, colorful project. And you'll be amazed at all the fun things you can do with the stencils. So I'm going to grab my stuffing. Regular polyfill stuffing. And if you do stuffies and you do small stuffies, this little surgical tool I've had a long time and I love to use it. I'm sure you could probably get it on Amazon, but it's really good for doing stuffies, especially little ones. So I'm going to go in through the bottom. You also would, for this project, I'm also using, have you guys been to Hobby Lobby and saw, I'm new to this, the ribbon that they have, that big collection of ribbon. I saw it and I was like, I need that, because I see all those pretty things that Lisa does with the vintage and all the fun ribbon, but I don't want to have a whole bunch of rolls hanging around, so I just think that's a great idea. All right, so if that happens, you're just going to go ahead and just re-glue it. So you go all the way around, glue it up, stuff it, glue the bottom, and you'll have your little mini. Here he is. You'll have your little mini, and then you'll get embroidery floss or ribbon, and you'll glue it, hot glue it to the back. Okay? So for this one, I used embroidery floss, but I think my other one I'm going to use ribbon. All right, so I got to move along here. So we have our egg. The same thing with the egg. You want to go ahead and glue ribbon or trim. I'm going to use trim here to the back. And you want a nice length because you're going to tie it on. So let me show you here what I'm doing. I'm just putting glue there. folding it in half. Boy, time goes quick. All right, so I have that. I have my egg. On top of my egg, I'm going to do the little ribbon. So I have a little bit of cloth here, colorful cloth that matches. I have my ribbon that I bought from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to go ahead and decide how big I want my little, I don't know what kind of bow, my fun fetty bow. I'm going to say probably about 2.5 inches or so. So I'm going to make this my base of my ribbon. And then I'm just going to go in here and just grab just some fun ribbons that are in here. Little, big, doesn't matter. Purple, a little bit of this. Look at velvety. And you're just going to layer it on top of your fabric. And just make it as thick as you want. Let's see, let me see if I can grab a couple more. The zigzag is fun. And a little glittery. And then you'll just take another piece of ribbon and you'll tie the bow. So if you say, I can't make bows, yes you can. Look how easy this is. So I've layered it all up and I'm just going to tie it together. I'll use my teeth. There we go. Look at that effect. That's such a fun bow. And then I'm going to glue it to the top of the egg. I cannot wait to see what everybody else is doing today. I already love the centerpiece that we made. I love just all that fun stuff. Boy, time is going fast. So let's kind of assemble it so I can just show you. So the piece I used was this piece. My original one was 24 inches. So we'll pretend that's 24 inches. And what I did was I went in 3 or 4 balls, pom-poms, and then I tied. So depending on the pattern that you want to do, you'll kind of want to lay it out and set it up and decide what you want to do. So I'm going to go in 4 for now. And you can use embroidery floss, like I said, or you can use your trim. And I'm just going to tie a knot because I want this to be very whimsical. I want this just to be fun and colorful. The only thing I want you to remember is the way that the pom-poms are laying, because sometimes they get twisted, so you want to be careful with that. So then I'm going to go over another like 3 or 4, and I'm going to grab my little stuffy that I made, and then tie it there. And you can tie it close to the pom-poms, or you don't. Here, I'll put this one down a little bit further so you can just see how that looks. Let's see. So I want to encourage you again to the 10% that you have for today to go, and if you've been on the fence of ordering something, today's a perfect day to do that. So here we go. We got our start to the. Let me see. Let me put my. All right. So that's, and then you'll just go and do your pattern. You can even add whatever you want, really. You can add eggs. This again is just a stuffy that I made from the DIY kit. Next, I'm going to grab a bigger ribbon. I'm going to use a pink. And it's just a regular pink ribbon. I think I got it from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to make this so simple bow. I'm making a loop this way, kind of deciding how big I want the bow. I don't want it too big, but all right, so I looped it that way. I'm going to loop it under, and then I'm going to scrunch them together. And I'm going to actually twist. So I just pinched it and twisted and make a third loop this way because those are going to be my tails. I'm going to grab some ribbon again and tie it. You can use a wire if you want, or you can use wired ribbon, but this particular one isn't. And sometimes I'll leave the ribbon longer, the tails longer, because why not? Why? It just adds, I think, to the whimsy of it. So there's your bow. And then you're going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to do the little dovetails. And how you do that is just fold your ribbon in half and cut on an angle. And then I'm just going to glue that to my end. So you'll decide how long you want it and obviously do the whole thing. And I'm just going to place it right at the end, the very end of it. It's so much fun. And you can, if you don't want to use the pom-pom, you can use jute. You can use just a white roping they have, if that's not something you want. But they do have all different kinds. So again, I use the DIY kit, which is awesome because not only did I do my kit, I also got to do stuffies. And then the minis I used for the eggs. And then let's see, what else do I need to tell you? Ribbon, your hot glue. I'm excited to make another one. So next up is going to be Amy. Will be coming up next. And I mentioned this before, but also Cindy did use the minis. So I love it that we are showing two totally different things that you can do with the minis. I have my notes here, so let me just check to see if there's anything else I wanted to say. I think that's good. I just want to invite you to come along and to see if you'd like to be a part of Magnolia. We have Magnolia Design Company. Maybe starting using your craft club, starting there, getting some ladies together and just having a fun night together of community and crafting. And then, you know, if that all works out and you guys are doing a great job, why not get a discount and join as an affiliate or a creator? And it's a great discount that you get. And just a way to build community, because, you know, I think it's time to do that, right? So if you have any questions, I'm sure somebody will be willing to talk to you about it over in Magnolia. And I think that's all that I really have. I have about 5 minutes. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm glad that I was able to do this with you. I was a little nervous, I'll be honest, and the part that made me nervous was just trying to get on the live here. So it's about building each other up. It's about, you know, supporting each other. And don't forget about the prizes. I know everybody loves free gifts, and fill out that jot form and be entered into the drawing. And thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll try the little garland. I just think it's a really fun project, and it's so easy, so easy. So I think I'm done for now. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see if I can get myself off here. I can't see my thing. All right, here we go. Have a great Saturday, everyone. Thank you so much.